Okay.
I'd like to call this regular council meeting of April 11th to order. Looking for a motion to adopt the agenda. Councilor English, Councilor Orlando, all those in favor? Motion is carried. Need a motion to adopt the minutes of the regular council meeting of March 28th. Councilor Nixon, Councilor English. All those in favor? Motion is carried. Is there any business arising from those minutes of March 28th? No public hearings. A couple of announcements I'd like to make. First, I'd like to welcome our new Director of Development Services, Nigel Whitehead. And great to have you on board, Nigel. I know that you're already up to your armpits, and that's just the way we like it around here.
Yeah, soon we'll be up to my neck.
That'll be after today. Anyways, welcome to town, and great to have you on board.
Thanks.
Just want to put out a reminder to the public that budget is out for public discussion, and we're looking forward to any comments from the public up until April the 18th. And also just a reminder that thanks to the media that we are having an all candidates forum coming up on April the 20th, and just want to put a plug in for people to get informed on the upcoming provincial election. Moving into item 9A, Finance.
Your Worship, I'll bring forward that the 5-year financial plan 2017 to 2021, bylaw 2173, be read a first time.
Motion by Councillor Nixon, seconded by Councillor Sauls. Discussion on the motion. All those in favor? Motion's carried.
And then I'll bring forward that the 5-year financial plan 2017-2021, bylaw 2173, be read a second time.
Motion by Councillor Nixon, seconded by Councillor English. Discussion on the motion. All those in favor? Motion's carried. And we're into item 11, a staff report on admin from Mountain View School Site. Who would like to bring that forward? Councilor Orlando.
11 move that road closure and dedication removal bylaw number 2170 be read a first, second, and third time.
Motion by Councilor Orlando, seconded by Councilor Sauls. Discussion on the motion. There's no presentation or anything on any of this.
No, Your Worship, I can certainly respond to questions, or I could provide a quick overview if that would be helpful.
Looking to see if anybody you'd like, maybe it would be worthwhile to give a couple of minutes on them, and that way it'll be on the record, it'll be public can see it if they're watching this on online.
Sure, okay, thanks, Your Worship. As Council is aware, the school district is moving towards the eventual sale of the former Mountain View School site. The site is bisected by a number of unclosed roads and lanes that seriously impact the utility of the lands. The idea is to close the roads. Title would be raised in the name of the city, to then negotiate a transfer of those lands with the school district, whereby they could then consolidate those closed roads and lanes with the remainder parcels and reconfigure the lands for productive use. This has been in the works for quite some time. We expect this process will take a few months to complete, and at the end of it all, then council will need to have discussion with staff and with the school district about the disposition of those lands.
Councillor Nixon.
Just a question, Mr. Chabot. Will the consolidation of those lands come back to council in the plan that previously came to council from the planning department? Will the plan remain as council agreed to how many months ago? Quite a few months ago it came before.
Yeah, that would be as much as a year ago. And ultimately, at the end of the day, council has to agree to the terms of the disposal. And because the disposal is not for the purpose of school site, it's for sale to a private investment or developer, the city is required to get fair market value. Now, There is some contention amongst the school district as to whether or not, in fact, they already enjoy beneficial ownership of those lands. We've not seen any evidence that proves that definitively. And so this is one step, because as we said to the school board, when you are ready and you have an investor in line, we don't want this to be an impediment in the way and you to say, well, now the city's holding us up. You need to understand this process is going to take several months to go through. And we want to clear the way so that they can achieve the sale. But certainly we're keeping in mind council's direction with respect to those lands and the land use plan that the planner had presented that was forwarded to the school district.
Councillor Nixon.
So just further to that decision making around the land use plan of those lands around Mountain View School will rest at this table.
Yeah, and it'll have to be a negotiated agreement for the school district of whatever it might comprise.
Okay, thank you.
And at some point, there's going to have to be a designation on the property, whether it's R4, C1, or whatever it's going to be, because it's institutional property right now.
Yeah, it'll ultimately have to be rezoned, and the reconfiguration of the lands to meet things such as minimum lot size to make productive use will have to be achieved as well, because right now, they're pretty carved out. There's a number of roads and lanes.
Right.
City will have, I think the report notes as well, the city will have to register statutory right-of-way for a sanitary sewer that runs east-west through the property, and stormwater sewer that runs north-south.
And of course, the rezoning is going to be coming back to this table, and it'll be subject to a public hearing.
Okay.
We have a motion on the floor that, which is the road closure and dedication bylaw, first, second, and third reading. Any other questions on the motion? All those in favor? Motion's carried.
Your worship, I'll continue. On number 2, I move that council provide notice of its intention to consider the adoption of road closure and dedication and removal bylaw number 2070 in accordance with the requirements of the community charter, and provide an opportunity for persons who consider they are affected by the bylaw to make representations to council.
Motion by Councillor Lando, seconded by Councillor English. Discussion on the motion. All those in favor? Motion's carried.
And number 3, I move that council provide notice of its intention to consider the adoption of road closure and dedication removal bylaw number 2070 to school district number 19, BC Hydro and Power Authority, TELUS Communications, YourLink, Fortis BC, and Revelstoke Public Works Department.
Motion by Councillor Lando, seconded by Councillor Souls. Discussion on the motion. All those in favor? Motion's carried. And we're to item B. Highway use agreement. Councillor Sills.
Your Worship, I'll bring this forward. Item B, that highway use license for 109 and 111 First Street West between the City of Revelstoke and Engelman Holdings ULC Inc. for installation and maintenance of certain facilities listed on Schedule B, forming part of the license, be approved.
Motion by Councillor Sills, seconded by Councillor Nixon. Discussion on the motion. Councillor Sills.
Your Worship, this is just a product of the development services where there's licenses or licensing is required when there is something encroaching the city property, in this case a sign and lights that are
Quacks like a duck that
hanging
walks.
over the city sidewalk.
So it's a highway use agreement and it's just hanging over city property. And any other comments or questions? Councilor Nixon?
Just a comment on what a nice job these developers have done with that building.
Nice addition to the community, for
Yes.
sure. All those in favor? Motion's carried.
I can bring forward 11C. Oh, I guess there's no motion here. This is just going right into the presentation. Apologies.
Well, there will be a motion, but we could go into this development variance permit, 1953 Aspen Crescent for Mr. Selvig. Is that you?
Yep. I'm not sure why the motion.
Just says the development variance permit be approved.
Yes, that is what we are correct.
maybe while we're getting this ready, maybe Dawn, you could check. I was under the impression that ducks weren't allowed to be in this zone, in this building, and we could look into that.
It was a fly.
Oh, no, I shouldn't have brought it up. It's on TV now. Mr. Sullivan, get us back to order.
Subject property is 1953 Aspen Crescent. The purpose of the variance is to reduce the minimum corner lot width requirement from 16.5 to 15.0 meters in order to subdivide the existing single-family property into 4 simple fee lots. You can see that here. Here's a view of the empty lot from Hay Road. It is all surrounded by single-family dwelling zoning. Here's the 4 proposed lots. There's a better view there. I'm just going to go back. Yes, here. Sorry, I've lost my train of thought. We have received 3 public submissions against the proposed variance. However, staff are still in support of the variance. Given the proposed 4-lot subdivision will have lot areas between 576 and 596 square meters, which is in line with other properties along Aspen Crescent. For comparison, these ones along here are between 550 and 560 square meters. The ones on this side are all around 575 square meters. And it meets the minimum requirement. And prior to the zoning amendment on November 8, 2016, it wouldn't even had to have come here as the corner lot width requirement was changed at that point in time.
It used to be 15 meters and now then it was changed to 16 and a half.
Yeah.
So this property was probably designed with that 15 meter.
Exactly.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. Perfect. I'll leave it there for you. Thank you.
Okay. So we have a motion.
Not yet. We're. Motion for. Well, the development variance permit DBD 2016-18 be approved.
Councilor Duke makes the motion, Councilor Nixon seconds the motion. And I think I also want to point out that these lots do meet the minimum required size of the lot. And what we're really only talking about here is reducing the side yard setback up to 15 meters from 16 and a half. Okay. Any comments or questions on the motion? All those in favor? Motion's carried. And next item is...
It's a heritage alteration permit.
yeah, so you have a presentation for that, Mr. Silver?
Yeah, I think there's a clear conflict on this one due to business relationship with the applicant.
Okay.
Thank you, Your Worship. Subject properties at 105 and 107 6th Street West. The purpose of the proposed amendment is simply to remove the requirement to plant 2 deciduous trees along the front edge of the property. The applicant has stated that the location of city servicing the adjacent large city trees, which you can see it there, and the winter snow storage at the end of that street just limits the ability for them to plant the trees. The only really good spot is where they already have a Japanese maple there. This has been confirmed with Public Works that it would be difficult, and we're in support of removing this requirement.
And the reason why it's back here is because that requirement was put in earlier, and
Yeah.
now the request is to take that requirement.
Exactly. Yep. Thank you, Your Worship.
All right, I will bring forward then that the requested amendment to heritage alteration permit number HAP 2016-03 be approved.
Motion by Councilor Duke, seconded by Councilor Nixon. Discussion on the motion. Councillor Nixon?
Just a question for staff. When we're seeing more of these developments come through, we're not adding to our snow clearing of that laneway anyway.
Yeah, and that's a very good question. So this one here, they're proposing, here I can go to, they're proposing parking right there. And so that would be their access with the pathway to their proposed accessory building. So, yeah, no, it would not impact the snow removal. Yeah.
Just a comment, Your Worship, I like the increased density downtown, but every time we add another alleyway or laneway to remove snow from it, it's going to add to city costs, so trying to balance that out. So this is a good design.
Any more discussion on the motion? All those in favor? Motion's carried. Mr. Sullivan, would you mind letting my councillor in?
I'm going to exit as well for this one, because there's mostly around vacation rentals.
Thank you.
Mr. Sullivan.
Thank you, Your Worship. The subject property is at 304 Town Street. The purpose of the application is to rezone in order to permit vacation rental use of the 8-unit apartment building. It currently consists of 5 2-bedroom units and 3 1-bedroom units. As proposed, there's ample parking. There's 2 for each. So the main floor is all garage. And there's room for 2 cars to be stacked, along with an additional car in behind each of those garage units, which you can see actually here on the back side. Staff use this application as an opportunity to consider permitting vacation rental use of a strata apartment building within a controlled CD zone. I'll leave it there for you. Thank you.
Thank you. Would you like that motion, Councillor?
Your Worship, I'll bring forward that the application to amend zoning bylaw number 1264 to add vacation rental as a permitted use within comprehensive development zone 11, CD 11, be approved.
Motion by Councillor Nixon, seconded by Councillor English. Discussion on the motion. Yes, Councillor.
Your Worship, just when the submission came in, they mentioned that they have minutes of the Strata Council supporting this, and I take it that will come forward at the public hearing. The support from the Strata Council will come out publicly then, because it's not in the package, and maybe that's something to do with privacy.
Yeah, I'm not sure if that was a privacy issue.
So, Your Worship, that would be, was one of the conditions to moving forward with this application, was to have 100% Strata Council approval.
So, just correct me if I'm wrong, but what we're talking about here is, we're talking about a text amendment to the CD zone. Prior to this being CD 11, it was a C1 zone, and I don't know why it went to a CD zone, but I'm under the impression that if it was built in the C1 zone, that vacation rental would have been a permitted use, and we wouldn't be here talking about this. So it was a use that was lost probably because it wasn't recognized as something that people would want, and if look at the zone had stayed, they would have had it, we wouldn't have this meeting right now. So we're just adding that back in. So I think it all seems pretty minor to me. Again, it'll still requires a public hearing, and council will make a decision based on any comments that it gets from the public. But all of the strata owners, I'm under the impression, have all voted in favor of this moving forward too. Doesn't seem to be a lot of neighbors in the very near vicinity, but again, we'll be setting a public hearing date coming up in the next motion.
And Your Worship, it's not set up as a commercial vacation rental for 120 days, and they wanted to fall more under the residential vacation rental.
Councilor
Your Worship, a question of staff. This, as you were just discussing, has a 120-day limit. So if this were approved, would would the number of bedrooms in this unit be subtracted from the R1B zone, or would this be in addition, this would be in addition to that? My question, I guess a follow-up question, Your Worship, is other commercially zoned, and this is, sorry, it's not a commercial zone, but other commercially zoned sort of condos and townhouses that are permitted to do vacation rentals under the commercial zoning are approached differently from how we're approaching this one. I'm wondering why that is.
This is a comprehensive development zone, it's just one site-specific zone,
Okay.
so it only pertains to one piece of property.
And I think my point earlier was that if this was still a C1 zone, we wouldn't be having this meeting, they would be allowed to do it, there would be no consultation, no public hearing, it would be permitted use in the zone, just like some of the condos that are above commercial buildings around town right now. And correct me if I'm wrong, but these do not become part of the current cap that we have. These are in addition to the cap.
That's my understanding.
Yeah, that's correct.
Okay. Does that answer your question, Councilor?
Yeah.
You have another one?
I do, Your Worship. I guess my question is, maybe the answer is going to be that council has the ability to make these decisions as they arise, but if you're taking a strata law and converting it to vacation rental, are we going to be setting some sort of precedent for other stratas in town?
Well, I think you also have to remember is that this is subject to a public hearing. It's a text amendment to a zone, and council has the right and the ability to say yes or say no. And it's going to be dependent on the comments that it receives at the public hearing. The council is going to make a decision just like any other public hearing. So I guess because we're approving it to move forward here, it is not a done deal.
Oh, no, I realize that, yeah.
Any other comments or questions on the motion? All those in favor? Motion's carried.
Your Worship, I'll bring forward that zoning amendment bylaw number 2177 be read a first and second time, and that a public hearing be scheduled.
Motion by Councillor Nixon, seconded by Councillor English. Discussion on the motion? All those in favor? Motion's carried. Can we let our councillor in as well?
And I'm going to step out for the next one, same reason due to ongoing business relationships.
We are on item F. Councillor Sauls.
Your Worship, I'll bring this forward, that the city enter into a new agreement with the Revelstoke Arts Council for the provision of entertainment during the Street Fest in Grizzly Plaza and for assisting with the management of the Performing Arts Center for a 1-year term. And that the mayor and director of corporate administration be authorized to sign on behalf of the city.
Motion by Councillor Sauls, seconded by Councillor Nixon. Discussion on the motion? Councillor Sauls, you made the motion, I'll let you go first.
Your Worship, this is just a new agreement, but the same thing that the Arts Council has been providing to the city for many years. It's a great, worthwhile venture, and I think this is something that we should support wholeheartedly.
Thank you. Councillor Nixon.
Your Worship, just a question for staff. Tell me why we're doing a 1-year term? Anybody know?
Your Worship, it's
Mr. Brown?
subject to budget approval.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
This is RMI funding,
And,
and it
yeah,
might be the
RMI
last
funds.
year of the RMI.
Contribute to a portion of the funding in the contract.
Okay. Makes sense. Thank you.
Any more comments or questions? All those in favor? Motion's carried. Next item is correspondence. We have a letter from BC Hydro regarding Revelstoke. Sorry. Oh. We need like lights for everybody. That's right. Yeah. Help open table 4. we have a letter from BC Hydro regarding Revelstoke Unit 6 project. I don't think there's any action required as information. And under communications, business license summary, showing increases again. And anybody got any comments on that? Or the advisory planning commission minutes of April 4th. Questions from media?
Not for me, your worship.
Whoa.
Just to clarify, the Mountain View thing, that just closes the roads, it doesn't do anything with regards to the sale of the property? Yeah.
No, it's just moving it one step closer
Yeah.
for what is probably going to be the eventual sale. And
Yeah.
it has to be done, and we're being a little more proactive in doing it sooner than later.
Okay, just wanted to mention. That's what I thought.
Looking for motion to rule in camera pursuant to next section 90.1 AD and 90.2 B of the Charter. English, all in favor, motion's carried. I think that's a record.